Well, good afternoon. It's Steve. Just wishing everyone a Merry Christmas. And I thought this afternoon I would put my TR6 away. It's actually Carol's TR6. She doesn't mind if I call it my TR6. And before I do, thought I'd give you a quick look around the car. I got a lot of car friends. They'll know exactly what this car is. But I have some airplane friends that may not. So for those of you who are wondering, this is our 1976 TR6. This was the last year, really, that the Triumph made this body style. And quite a successful car. Had a long run from the 60s right through to the 1976, which this is. And you can tell that it's the late 70s because of the bumperettes. Triumph put those on, otherwise they wouldn't be allowed to bring them into the country. North Americans decided that bumper heights had to be set at a specific height. And the TR6 being a low-slung roadster, typical British fashion, it didn't meet the requirements. So this was British Leyland's way of making the car last a few years longer. So we'll just whip up the side here. For those of you who are wondering why I'm just putting the car away now on December 26th, I'm really not a procrastinator as much as I'm an optimist. I was sort of hoping for better weather later in the year, and well, today was the day. It's perfectly dry, so I put some stabilizer in, took it around the block a few times, but now it's time to put it away. So yeah, this car started out life in 76 as a green, crappy looking color. It was actually, really, and it was restored some years ago as a Porsche Cobalt Blue. So not unlike a Triumph color, but not exactly true. It's been completely restored, and you can tell by most of its features it shows pretty well. Inside, it's a British car through and through, so it's got the low-slung bucket seats with a little dinky headrest, not really designed to save your life so much as make you look good as you're rolling over. Inside the car, we have the dashboard of a British car. Always nice, you know, a little bit of style. Got some flow-through ventilation you can see there. Roll-up windows, no fancy stuff here. 6-pack type gauge system, speedometer, tachometer, temperature, oil pressure, fuel, and voltage. It's got a carburetor system rather than a fuel injection system, so it uses a choke. It's a 4-speed. Had an optional overdrive, which this car didn't have. It had overdrive on 3rd and 4th. This one wasn't equipped that way. 2-speed wiper, headlights. Dimmer is on the steering wheel stock. Nice upgraded steering wheel. The Triumph was really famous for having closely grouped pedals. You can see them there. Now this one I have the rubber off it because, you know, and sometimes at night or whatever, it's easier. You can feel which is which because your feet are quite close together, as you can see. Good for heel-toe type race driving, but not so nice for driving around town. Replacement radio, kind of looks like the original, pays homage to the original old style radio, but it's sort of renewed with a MP3 player. This has a choke, as I was saying. It also has the most confusing heater system that I've ever come across. If you take a minute and look at those gauges, if you can figure out how to turn the defroster on low or put the heater on high, I'll buy you a beer. But all the years I've driven these things, it's always a mystery to me when it comes time to use them. The top fits really nice on a Triumph. They seem to spend a little bit extra time on that. It's easy to do. It's all manual. You just whip these things back, in there. Reduce, take the clips off the ribs, fold her back. It sort of hides away in the back seat, or where the back seat would have been. Comfortable. So we can have a look outside. Here we are. If I pop the hood for you, you'll see that we have, excuse me while I get this up. There we yeah. We have a 2.5 liter, 2500 cc, 2.5 liter 6-cylinder, inline 6-cylinder overhead valve. A little bit noisy, but for a low engine, lots of grunt. They had a really long stroke, and they had quite a bit of torque, these engines. Very, very well put together. Caused relatively little by way of issues, and anyone who takes care of them will find that they don't too often let you down. It's the electrical system in most British cars that's the weak link, not so much the mechanicals. Has a distributor and a coil, so points inside. I've taken those out long ago and replaced that with a little bit more reliable ignition system. You can see over there the two Stromberg carburetors. Contrary to common belief, if you leave them alone, they're fine. You get a little too fiddly with them, and yes, a car can be hard to set up at times, but for somebody with a trained ear, unlike myself, they're not that bad to set up, really. So you can see it's a pretty straightforward engine compartment. You drop something through and you can see that it'll go all the way through to the ground, so you won't find too many free tools in there left over from maintenance. So let's get the hood down and we'll start it up for a minute. There we go. That just goes down like so. Push that down. Oh, just a word on the body. The 76, 5, 4, and I think the 3 all had the same rakish look with the sort of squared off look. Earlier than that, in the TR5 and the TR4 and 4A, I believe they were Italian bodies. Bertone, I think. I could be wrong. When it came time to retool in 73, I believe, Bertone was busy and doing who knows what, but he was busy, and the job went, I think, to Gia. Somebody might want to take me to task on that, and I could be wrong, but I believe it became the task of the Germans to redesign the British car. So we'll see how she runs. Let's start it up. Make sure we get the right pedal here. Not bad. Hasn't been run. So let's go outside and have a listen, shall we? There we are. Now we have dual Lanza exhaust, Carol and I have on this car. And they make a nice sound, I think. The purist, of course, will have an issue with that. Should have been one set of dual pipes coming out the side. That's a completely different sound. I rather like the sound of the dual Lanzas myself. So there we are. There's our car. Just going away for the winter. It's going to be fun when it comes spring again. So listen, hope everybody had a Merry Christmas. There's the first in my one-part series of the TR6. So wishing you all a good 2015, and hopefully we'll see you on the road. Bye for now.